Hey everyone, welcome back to Wealthy Mentor Trading. Today's May the 9th, 2021. Today I'm going to be looking at SPX, where I see it heading into next week. Some targets to the upside and to the downside. I'm also going to be looking at some of our watch list names. That includes Tesla, Netflix, ROKU, Facebook, Peloton. I'm also going to be looking at our secondary names on our swing trading watch lists. Names like JMIA, Pinterest, HD, TGT, and a few others. Before I get going, please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to check us out at thewealthymentor.net if you want to join our Discord group. Plenty of great services there. If you're a beginner, it's definitely an asset for you. Also, if you're a senior that has been trading the markets for a long time, you can definitely benefit from it as well. With that being said, we do have the SPX chart right here. As you guys know, we did have a pretty bullish week last week. As you guys can see here, we did have 4,200 as the main level last week to break. We did drop down initially on Monday and Tuesday down to 4,130 before popping up and making basically all-time highs at that 4,238 area. Next week, I do have targets to the upside starting at 4,250. That would be my first target, and also would be my entry point if you are going long on SPX. And my first target to take profit would be that 4,260. And I also have 4,280 as my second take profit target. Now to the downside, we do have some support here at 4,220. If that were to break, I am looking at 4,210 and 4,200 psychological. Okay, as you guys know, 4,200 is a big level of support for us, and it was the breakout point before creating these all-time highs right here. So I'm definitely going to be looking at that round number of 4,200. If that were to break and we do see weakness, we do have some support here at that 4,170 to 4,180 area, which the market has respected quite a few times. Okay, so that is SPX on the 4-hour time frame. Actually, this is the 30-minute time frame. I just wanted to give you a breakdown, but looking at the 4-hour time frame, we are in an uptrend, right? And I do see us going higher than we currently are. However, there has been talks about a pullback, and if there was one, I would be looking at down to 4,130, which would be an area for me to look for a pullback. Another area would be that 40-30 area, which we did gap up and never refilled. Gaps tend to get filled. I'm also looking at another area, which would be at that 3980 to 4,000 area, which we could also receive a pullback. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen next week, but in the future, if we do see weakness in the markets for whatever reason, let's just say there's another wave of COVID, definitely look for those gaps to be filled and significant weakness heading lower. Okay, so that is SPX on my outlook heading into next week. Still bullish. First name I want to take a look at is Tesla, TSLA. Tesla, I wanted to bring to your attention the 665 level. I am going to switch over here to the 4-hour time frame. This 665 level has held pretty well. As you guys can see here, we did drop multiple times back on the 30th of April, over here on the 4th of May, 6th of May, and the 7th of May. So 665 is a level of strong support for me, which has held pretty well. Heading into next week, I am continuing to hold support at 665. If we do see weakness, I would not short 665. I would definitely short at 650. As you guys can see here, these long wicks did push as low as 650. So I would say 665 to 650 is a level of support. However, I would enter shorts at that 650 area for take profits at 640, 630, and 620. Now to the upside, if we do get past 682, I am looking at target number 1, 690, and 700. Pretty much, if you do not want to get caught up into this chop action, look for a break of 710. 710 has held for strong resistance, and we did have a sizable pullback from that 710 area back on the 30th of April, sorry. So if you are a conservative trader, definitely look over that 710 area. If you are swing trading, sorry, day trading, I am looking at that 682, 682, 690 as target number one. Target number two is 700. Okay, so that is Tesla heading into tomorrow and next week. 665, 650 is that level of support that I'm looking at. If we do see a sizable break in Tesla, we do also have support here at that $600 psychological support area. So, you know, if the tech sector does push down for whatever reason, look at that area as strong support as well. Okay, so that is Tesla on the 4-hour time frame. Another name I want to look at that has been consolidating for quite a while since its earnings. It is Netflix. As you guys know, Netflix did drop on earnings, right? We were at that 556 level. This big long candlestick here was the earnings drop after hours, and we have been stuck into this 512 to 500 area. Heading into next week, I am looking at that 495 area. Below 495, a break to the 488, 484, and 480 would be my profit taking areas if I was to short. However, I would not short Netflix until I see a break of that 495, 490 area. Just to be safe, guys, honestly, look for that 488 to break to basically tell us that we are in a downfall on Netflix. And if that were to break 484, target number one, 480 to 477 would be target number two. Now, if we are going higher onto the upside, I like to see a convincing break above the 512 area with convincing volume. This has just been chop. I would not suggest entering over 512. To be sure, 522 would be an area that I would be looking at to enter for take profits at 530 and 536. And if we are bullish, I am looking at a retest at the 542, which was the bottom of this support line when we were above that area. Okay, so look for a break above that 522 if you are bullish on Netflix going forward. Another name that did report earnings that is correlated to Netflix that also pushed lower is ROKU, ROKU. ROKU did receive a sizable pullback as well on their earnings. They were trading around that 370 area. They dropped on earnings, pushing as low as 270. We did have a nice bounce here after hours, and we are now testing that 320 area. So heading into next week, I am looking at 320 as a break. If that were to break, 332 and 340 would be my take profit areas. ROKU did also receive some upgrades after their earnings bomb. So continue looking at, you know, catalysts such as analyst upgrades if you are entering on day trading stocks such as ROKU for those targets to be hit. To the downside, we did push as low as 270. Sometimes these are clues. You know, we did get a nice little bounce here, but it could be a continuation pattern going down. So it could be called a dead cat bounce. So an area that I'm going to be looking at heading to next week to the downside would be 310. If 310 were to break, 300 and 288 would be my take profit areas. If we do see continued weakness, definitely look for 270 to get back down there and get hit again. Okay, so that is ROKU on the 4-hour time frame. Keep that on your watch list, guys. Another name I'm going to be looking at is Facebook. Facebook did have all-time highs at 332, which was a push on their earnings when they beat it. However, we did receive some market weakness on QQQ, which is the tech sector, pushing this low as 315, which also filled the gap that we did have when we busted through that area on the earnings beat. An area that I'm going to be looking at heading to next week onto the downside, again, is that 315. We did have that as the breakout point, which was right here, big candlestick. It was also an area of rejection over here on the 7th of April. So now, as we are above it, old resistance now is support. So 315 is a key area for me. If that were to break and we do see significant market weakness, and also confirmed by volume, such as something like this. This is what you want to see, right? Whether you're shorting or you're going long, you want to see convincing volume. So if we do see convincing volume, 315, if that were to break, 310, 37 would be my first take profit area. Again, this is another strong area of support. So you would have to have some convincing volume to press through these areas. But if we do, 310 to 307 would be target number one, and target number two would be that 301, 302 area to the downside. To the upside, I would like to see entries above 332. Just, you know, proves to me that we're breaking out and that there is significant buyers up here willing to push the prices higher. If you are a swing trader, a day trader, scalper, look for that 320, 324 mark to break. Above 324, I have targets of 330, 333, which is all-time highs as target number one and two. Personally, I like to see 333 to break. If that were to break, 336 and 340 would be the respective targets to the upside on Facebook. Again, guys, this is on a 4-hour time frame, so these candles do hold significant value. So be patient if you are swing trading on Facebook. Okay. Another name that saw some significant weakness last week was Peloton, Pton. We did have earnings last week, but prior to earnings, we did have about maybe 12, 13% drop. And that was due to a recall, which Peloton had on one of their treadmills, which obviously causes fear and people to sell off. I was expecting that sell-off would be something that would happen after earnings, but it didn't. Also, we did receive a little bit of a bounce here the next day, not strong enough to break over that 88 area. Again, we are in a downtrend, and this is one of those names I am looking at the 77.50 area. If that were to break, 73 and 70 would be my take profit areas to the downside. To the upside, I personally like to see it over 95. However, if we're scalping, which is what we do most of the times at Wealthy Mentor Trading with my entries and exits, I am looking at entries above 88 for take profits of 95, 94, and your second take profit at 100. If you want to be more of a safer trader, look over 95 for your take profit area of 100 to 106. Okay, 106 is strong resistance, as you guys can see here. We pushed back down, held support at 100, which is psychological support, round number. Held it as much as we could before breaking down. We were so weak we couldn't even break over that 106 area. So those are areas to the upside and to the downside on Peloton. We are in a downtrend. Switching over here to the daily, I will show you a bit of a bigger outlook. As you guys can see, 171 was all-time highs, and we've been drifting lower. We created a little bit of support at that 100 to 105 area before trying to pop back up. And again, like I said, we had some bad news with regards to their treadmills and a recall, and that spiked fear. And we are in an area now where we could see some consolidation around that $77 area, which is what we had back here on September 2020. Okay, so this area is pretty important, so keep your eyes on Peloton. I'm going to switch over to our swing trading names, and one name that sticks out to me is JMIA. JMIA has earnings on Tuesday, I believe, and we have been beaten down pretty badly here ever since reaching all-time highs at the $70 area. There were some rumors that the bottom may be in on JMIA, but I never really like to look at that. I just let the charts dictate and the price action dictate what my next move is. And right now we are in a downtrend. However, this stock has been beaten down quite a bit, and it is oversold on the higher time frames. I am going to switch over here to the 4-hour chart to give you guys my outlook. We do have some strong support here at that 24, 24, 24.50 area. Heading into next week, I would like to see a pop above 28.50 for take profits at 31 and 33 and a half. Now, if you are more of a conservative trader and are not sure, and you want to basically say, you know what, I want to see this trend change, well, the first sign of that would be a break above the 33.50 area for take profits at 37 and 40 and a half. So those are my targets to the upside. To the downside, 24 is strong support. As you guys can see here, we did wick down, big candlestick, supported by some nice volume. Buyer stepped in here on December the 2nd. So potentially we could see the same action here for a pop up to those areas that I just mentioned, which was 40.60. If we don't see buyers step in on this area like they did back last year in December, I am looking at 20.50, $18, and $16 targets to the downside. Personally, JMIA has been a pretty strong name during the pandemic, and I don't see it going down to those levels unless there's significant bearish news. Now, they haven't done well on earnings in previous instances, so keep that also in mind, that if we do bomb on earnings, we might see those levels, or we can trend sideways here at that $24 to $28 level for quite a while before making a decision to go back or down. Okay, so JMIA is a name I'm going to be looking at above that $28 area if you are a swing trader. This is definitely one of those names that you can see sizable percentage gains if you hold it long enough. Okay. Another name I want to look at that is part of our swing trading watch list is OSTK. And this is overstrike. The reason I'm going to be looking at this is because we are at a critical area, which is that 85.50 area. We do have strong resistance at that area. Uh, Back here on October 2020, we couldn't break it, ultimately pushing back down to the $46 area. Here we are again, trying to retest it. We got rejected once here, not completely making it up all the way there, but got rejected back on April the 13th, 2021. Once more here, we are testing that area again. So as a swing trading name that's part of our uh, group at Wealthy Mentor Trading, I am looking at that 85.50 area. Above 85.50, 91 and a half, and 98 are my take profit targets. I would like to see some convincing volume break that $85 area, because that's what it's going to take, because we do have multiple rejections at that area. And as a rule of thumb, the more times resistance gets tested, the weaker that it gets, and a breakthrough is imminent. Okay. So keep this name in mind to the upside. Now to the downside, if we don't see a break above that 85 area, or if we do test it and get rejected, 79 is a level of support. 72 would be my take profit number one, and the 64 to $61 area would be my take profit two, which we do have some support here. One bounce, two bounce, three bounce before now retesting that 85 area. Okay, so keep that in mind going into Monday. That is a swing trading name, and this is a 4-hour chart. So be patient with your entries and exits, and take profits. It could take a while to hit those areas. Another name that is part of our swing trading watch list, our low cap names, as we like to call them, is Pinterest, P-I-N-S. Pinterest did have earnings a week or so back, and we are in an area of critical support, which is that $58 area. Now, I say this because we haven't had 58 touch in quite a while, which was here back on October and November of 2020. So 58 is a level of interest for me, because if that were to break, I'm looking at areas of 52 as my take profit number one and 48 as my take profit number two. We did wick down, and as you guys can see here, big long wicks like this that get a sizable bounce is where buyers step in and protect that area. So below 58, 52 would be an area to take profit at, right? I would close my position and wait to see if there's more weakness to re-enter to take profit number two at 48. Okay, guys, don't be greedy when you're shorting. Shorting's not going to be always perfect. And honestly, when you're shorting, you gotta be quick with your exits. You're not going to always hit your targets to a T. So be attentive to that. Now to the upside, if we do hold 58, like how we did back here, I'm looking at an entry above 60 and a half. Above 60 and a half, I'm looking at 62 as take profit number one. As take profit number two is 64 and a half, and 66 and a half will be take profit number three. Now, if you're a more of a conservative trader and don't want to get up to this chop and you want to see some sort of trend change, look over that $66 to $68 area before entering. And if you do enter at that area, you're looking at 73 and 76 as your take profits. Okay, so that is another swing trading name. Another name that is significant to me heading into next week and has been pretty significant is HD. HD is Home Depot. Home Depot is at a high right here at 340. So we are at all-time high. So I am looking at a blue sky breakout above that 340 area. Above 340, I am looking at price targets of 342 and 345, right? Blue sky breakout. If we do not break out, I am looking at key support at that 335 area. If 335 cannot hold, definitely look for 330 and 325 as your take profit targets. Bullish on Home Depot. Next name, TGT. Target is another name that is seeing all-time highs. Similar with Home Depot, right? I am looking at a break above 215, which is all-time high, for take profits of 220 and 222. Now, if we do not see all-time highs and decided to pull back, 210 would be area of support. I would not short 210. I would look for 210 to break with convincing volume, and 208 would be my shorting area. So a break of 208, I would look down to 204 as my nut take profit target, right? And 200. Now 204 does have some strong support here, guys. We could not break 204 basically from April the 5th onto the 28th. So that's almost a full month of support. So if you are shorting and you're not taking a 204 profits, I suggest you do, because we can definitely see a sizable bounce. And if you're an options trader, that can kill your premium real fast, and volatility can kill you. So 204, take profits. Look for to see what market conditions are doing. If we see continued weakness, you could always re-enter and take profits at that $200 area. All right, guys. So those are some of the names that I'm going to be looking at heading into next week. Keep an eye on Home Depot, all-time highs. Target, TGT, another one. Pinterest, currently in a downtrend at key support 58. Overstrike, we're approaching that $85 area. JMIA earnings have gotten beaten down pretty badly over the past week or so with price action. Pton, again, a continued downtrend. Facebook, retest of all-time highs at 333. Netflix, tight consolidation area. ROKU, same thing, did receive a sizable bounce. Look to see what Netflix does, right? You want to see if there's correlations in between there. Another name again, Tesla, it's that 665 is that strong support. So those are the names I'm going to be looking at. Keep those as part of your watch list. And if you do want to join us at Wealthy Mentor Trading, we have an amazing Discord group. Updates every single day, analyst downgrades, upgrades. We fill you in on what's happening with economic information, market overview, call outs on entries and exits. You can't ask for more. Check us out, wealthymentor.net. Great Discord group. And please, guys, give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It's a great time to be in the markets and to make money. So please give this video a thumbs up as well. Thanks, guys. See you next week and good luck. Bye.